So the agent thinking, having the belief system to share as much as possible, they have to learn as much as possible first. And if they're not curious, they may not do that.
And I think that all feeds back into integrity and transparency and all of the things that are so important in a fiduciary relationship with a client.
Did some of this understanding you picked up along the way, was it also, or was it ingrained when you went to Cornell? You were the president of your class in a hospitality.
Yep, hospitality and real estate finance. Yep.
Yeah, how did that play out? And maybe my first question, because I'm excited. Yeah, there's so many questions.
Like we're going in a lot of directions.
That understanding of curiosity and how important it is to learn, was that reaffirmed in your training at Cornell? Or was it already there, or did it come there first?
You know, it's interesting you should ask that, because here I am working at Grosvenor, and I had been there for, at this point, I guess about 4 years before I went to grad school. And I never felt in my career that I needed advanced education. You know, I think that I would have been absolutely fine with a finance degree from St. Joe's. I think that that's a great foundation. But I wanted to get a master's degree because, again, I was curious about learning more. And I always thought, and I still do, and I've had the opportunity to do this recently in my career, which is so cool. I always thought that I would become a professor one day.
Wow.
I always wanted to teach. I still do.
What would you teach?
I think I would probably teach real estate or entrepreneurship, or probably a combination of the two. Yeah. I lecture on both subjects at St. Joe's, as a guest speaker in the classrooms, and I love it. I find it to be so great. So of course I did research. In order to become a professor, you have to have a minimum of a master's degree. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get a master's degree because I'm curious to learn more. And the reason that I chose hospitality versus a traditional MBA was that I told you my first job out of college, I traveled all the time. Yeah. And there were periods, and even when I was working at Grosvenor in acquisitions, there were periods where I would spend a week, a month living in a hotel. And I found that industry to be so interesting. The job in hospitality is to make people happy. And there was something about that resonated with me.